What's up, family? I am Joe Speaks, and this is Joe Speaks Hope. Listen, this is just a channel hopefully to inspire you, to encourage you, just to comfort you throughout the day. Today, I'd like to talk to you about what's called the identity breakthrough. What am I talking about? Well, growing up in a dysfunctional home and in a broken environment, I've come to learn that the number one impediment in our culture, the things that are leading to drug addiction, fatherlessness, poverty and violence and crime is the identity crisis. See, these are simply the symptoms of the disease. I call it identity crisis. Now, what's the identity crisis? Well, that's simply someone that doesn't know who you are. And today, I'd like to talk to you about what it means to have an identity breakthrough. Now, if you just give me a little bit of time, don't swipe, don't text, don't tweet, nothing like that. Just give me a little bit of time and I'm going to speak hope in your life. Watch this. In 1994, Nelson Mandela gave arguably his most popular speech. It was called Our Deepest Fear. In the speech, this is what he said. We ask ourselves, who am I to be gorgeous, talented, brilliant, and beautiful? And then he said, who are we not to be? You are a child of God. That's what he said. Listen, your identity is wrapped up in the reality that you are a child of God. You were fearfully and wonderfully made by the master of the universe, the creator of everything created, right? You are a child of God. Now, what does that mean? That means knowing that you are a child of God, knowing that's your identity, there are three things that comes with that. Your values, your purpose, and your destiny. Today I want to talk to you about those values. In Luke 10:27, the disciples asked Jesus, what is the most important commandment? In other words, what is the foundation of our value system? Jesus says this, love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, all thy soul, all thy strength, and all thy mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. He was giving them the fundamental basis of the value system of what it means to be a child of God. What is the value system? A value system simply is this: what is important and why? Jesus was saying what's most important is to love the Lord thy God and love your neighbor as yourself. That is the basis of your value system. So what's the problem there? The problem is the world has lied to us. Our culture has lied to us. It has told us that God has nothing to do with our lives. And it has told us that you're not a child of God. So because of this identity crisis, we have this misconception and this misunderstanding of some of the most basic concepts of life. What am I talking about? We don't understand things like love, joy, peace, family, self-worth, and even loving your neighbor, as simply as that sounds, right? The culture has told us to love is about sex, joy is about money, right? Peace is about never having any discomfort and never ever having any pain, right? Self-worth, that's all about who's jealous of me and who envies me. Family, well, I'll love the family I like, and loving my neighbor is, well, if I can tolerate them, I'll love them. Whoa! That has nothing to do with your identity. That has nothing to do with the value systems of a child of God. As a child of God, you got to know you are loved, man. You're loved. And if you're loved, and if she's loved, and if he's loved, we can love one another with the power of God. So what does that mean? That means I'm empowered because God loves me. And if God be for me, then he is greater than the whole world against me. So it doesn't matter that I came from a dysfunctional environment. I am loved. It doesn't matter if you're dealing with hurt or your heart was broken. You were loved. It doesn't matter that you're abused and some of you are even rejected. You gotta know you are loved. You may feel that I've made all these mistakes and I've failed so many times. But listen, you are loved. You are loved by God because you are a child of God. So you can win. Don't give up, brother. And you can win, sister. Don't throw in the towel just yet. You are loved by God. There's purpose in your pain. There's purpose in what you're going through. And we have a value system that we must live by in order to reflect the image of God. Listen, that's my time. I pray that somehow I encouraged you, I inspired you, and encouraged you. You got to know you're loved. You can do it because God loves you. Listen, we'll be back same back time, same back channel, and we'll talk about this identity breakthrough even further. And because next week we're going to talk about how your purpose is wrapped up in your identity. Listen, I am Joe Speaks, and this is Joe Speaks Hope. Love you guys, and keep speaking hope. Take care.